Heather McDonald is a comedian, best-selling author, and the unapologetic voice behind the hit podcast Juicy Scoop, where pop culture, celebrity drama, and zero filters collide. She's known for saying exactly what everyone else is thinking, just louder and funnier. Basically, if it's juicy, Heather's already scooped it.
Wait, where did you get that? Did you ask AI to do it or something? Oh, can I have it?
Yes. Is
okay,
this for
that's
you?
really, really good.
Yes.
I never know when people say oh, I have a bio, or all of a sudden a club will be promoting me and it's like an old bio, and I'm like, oh God, that sounds awful. I need to rewrite that bio. So
Can I give you let me give you the trick for your AI. I was telling Jen this today. She's like, wait, what did you say to get that or that? Mine has a name, and every time I'm in the car, I talk to it. I tell it what I want, what I don't like. It's like an interview every day with my chat GPT. So it knows me so well. I'm like, don't lie to me. Don't ever tell me something's good when it's not. I don't like this. I won't eat that. This. And the more you do that, the better your responses to stuff are. So let me give you a good example. Today we were talking about someone who was here earlier, and we put it into AI, and I didn't even put his bio in, and it spit stuff out.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. That's why I was just
so
wondering.
Weird. It was listening to us.
Oh, and then yes, definitely it always listens. And I also, it's like the self-driving cars too. Do you have a self-driving car?
No.
I do. I hate it.
I don't do it, but my husband has it. My son likes it. And so, but I used to be afraid to be in the passenger, but now I'm not. And it does get smarter. It used to be a wider turn on our street, and then it starts to know it's.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's kind of crazy, but.
I kind of have a fantasy that we're going to take, what are those little carless, driverless
in
cars?
The city.
In the city. What's it called?
Waymo.
That we'll get in it, and we'll be filming and laughing and doing all the fun things, and it'll go rogue. And it'll just kidnap us, and it'll just drive us all over the city.
With that? It got stuck on the train tracks in San Francisco.
Oh.
And luckily the person jumped out.
That
is terrifying.
That's terrifying.
Because then I was also like, oh my God, what if all of a sudden the doors were locked?
Mm-hmm.
But then my son loved him. He used him when he was at ASU. But he says, you can't lock the doors. I'm like, well, you must be able to lock the doors. Otherwise, a stranger could jump in and kill you.
Yeah. Or what if you're in
a
weird part of town?
Or
take your life.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. So thank you for coming. I'm so happy to have you. I met with you when we were talking about starting our podcast, and you said something concerning to me, which was more podcast divorce than couples in Hollywood.
That's probably not totally true, but no, there's a lot of podcast breakups because a lot of people start it as friends, and one gets some other job or loses interest, or one feels like they're doing the heavy lifting, or it's just like a marriage. It's rare that two people will go, you know what I was thinking? That we should divorce? Yeah. Great.
Yeah, great idea.
Usually it just doesn't happen. So it's just good that since you guys are such good friends, that there's always good communication going on.
It's true.
It's like a marriage.
Yeah.
It's like a marriage. But we're very low maintenance, I think, in our marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another podcast. So you just added Juicy Crime to the Juicy Scoop. Tell us about that.
So I've always been into any kind of juicy crimes of passion. I'll be, I'm not really into the serial killer thing. I like when it's you just can't believe that this person that was basically living a life like all of us make a couple wrong turns, an affair or whatever, or a nefarious business thing, and now the worst has happened and they've killed their spouse or their partner or whatever, and now they're looking at life in prison. That type of stuff always interested me. My sister is a criminal defense attorney, so I've always been loving the Datelines and all that stuff, like many of us have. And so then I still on Juicy Scoop, I interviewed Keith Morrison, and I started to, and then if there was a crime or whatever, I would mention it in my hot topics. And then I kind of thought, as the world got more dark and everything, I was like, you know what? People should only be coming to Juicy Scoop for funny, juicy stuff. And I was always staying non-political, but even sometimes I'd see like a comment like, whoa, that story about the Hollywood guy molesting the kids. Like, I don't think I need to hear that or whatever. And so then I was like, yeah, though. So, there was enough interest in starting Juicy Crime. So I'm like, okay, maybe then I'll do, and people would always be like, oh, I wish you had more days a week because I do Tuesday, Thursday, Juicy Scoops. So now Juicy Crimes is Wednesday. And then that way, like all the stuff that is crime related can just be on that. And we can go a little darker, and I'm not like worrying about it.
It's like a woman's dream.
People know. Yeah.
Women
people know what they're getting
love
into.
a good
Yeah.
crime story.
I do not,
Yeah.
but I appreciate.
I love it. I love it. My husband always says to me that if something were to happen to me, all they have to do is look at my history on my box and
on your Netflix.
it's over. Like
Well,
I love a good
that's-
Karen Reed.
yeah.
I love a good, like I'm vested right now in the Rob Reiner story. Like it's, I want to know every single detail why they, I want a
I know
7
everything.
series
Ask me
documentary.
whatever you want.
Yes.
Do you
I want to
ask me-
know everything. Okay, I want to know this because someone said this wasn't true. Okay, first of all, I feel terrible for this. Is
Of course,
horrible. But
yeah.
I heard that the sister showed up at the parents' house.
So the daughter, so the sister, and the
Romy.
daughter.
Romy.
Yeah.
Their daughter showed up, and that the mom was still alive, and she told her that it was the brother that did it.
Where did you hear that?
I read it on one of these news, like on like a Fox or a.
Well, one thing,
And-
make sure though, when you do read these things, that it's actually a real news things, because I cover a lot of housewives and stuff, and there's so many of now these sites that are writing completely fake things. And it looks like a news article and everything, and then people pick it up, and then like Vicky Gunvalson of Real Housewives of OC, her daughter, somebody wrote something on
I
like
did
the
hear-
Real
yeah.
Housewives news that the husband had been arrested for domestic violence.
Oh wow, that's so
And it was
damaging.
all made up. They put his head on someone else's orange
wow.
That's a
jumpsuit.
career ending.
Yeah, but it's like, what is she going to do? Sue this weird woman or
Yeah.
guy who started an Instagram account and bodunk, whatever. Like, so it's kind of like, a victimless crime in a way, except she has to now defend it. But with that, I don't know. And I think all that kind of stuff, they would want to keep quiet because they're building their case. Of course, Alan Jackson, who was the attorney for Karen Reed, he has stepped down. And
Is this true that they're now doing a public defender? Because
they're doing a public defender.
And is
named
this because
Elizabeth
he
Green.
doesn't have the money? Because
So when you kill your parents, you
In
can't inherit
California.
any money. And then, so I think that Alan Jackson heard about it and immediately wanted this case. I think it's a couple things. One, I think he is insane and crazy, and those are difficult clients. Two, I do think that the brother and sister don't want to pay for the attorney, not because necessarily they don't want to share their money or whatever. I think it's just I just don't want to be spearheading his defense in any way.
Oh,
you know what I
that's
mean?
murdering
And I
their
wouldn't
parents.
want to. And I think also it's just let the chips fall where they may, because if I was her, I would never want my brother to get out. And I mean, I had a brother that was in jail, and one of the things was attacking my dad, and he could have succeeded, and that the trajectory of my life could be totally different if I was dealing with something like that. So when this happened, I did share with my listeners that follow me on my Patreon and stuff that know the story. I'm like, yeah, there's been a couple things in my life that had somebody succeeded in what their goal was, or maybe it wasn't their goal. Maybe it was just meaning to beat up my dad, which he did. But had the police not come and broken it up,
yeah,
what would my life have been? And when that did happen, I was to my sister, please don't defend him. Please let him go to prison. I was living next door to my parents with little kids, and I would never have bought the house if I thought in 2 years they would have taken my brother back in to live there. And so I could just really relate to Romy. Being the youngest one, you could tell she was the apple of his eye, of the dad's eye, if you were watching
And
any
the only
videos.
daughter.
The younger daughter. So
okay.
it's the older son is I believe he's married, and he was an anchor on TV. Then there's Nick, who had all the drug addiction and tried to do the movie thing with him. and whatever, 21 rehabs. And then there's Romy, who is like aspiring writer, actor, whatever. And so I think it's just really hard, you know, and I understood, like with my parents who had 5 kids, like you never want to give up on a kid. You want to believe they could be changed. You know, so yeah, I think there could be a level of something that would qualify premeditation, and that, you know, I think they didn't go home together from the Conan party. We know that now, that he came early.
Did the murders happen on the same day as the Conan party?
Yes.
Or was it okay.
So the way I understand is he showed up at the Conan party. I found out this just recently from a friend of mine who knows like someone who works on staff for the party. And they were like, who is this guy? Is he like a cater waiter or whatever? So he was there early, started being weird with everybody. Then Rob and Michelle came. Then they had a moment, probably Rob being like, what the fuck? You know, why are you being so weird? And people were like, you should call the cops to Conan. And I'm sure Rob was like, please don't. He left. Nick left. Then Rob was like, okay, we're going to leave too, because this was just like now weird. They went home, went to bed, and then were killed in their bedroom.
Oh, wow.
So did he go to the hotel, check in, and then come back to the house? Because when I first heard it, I imagined they all went to the party together. Mm-hmm. They all came home together. Argument ensued. Crime of passion. He took the knife in the kitchen. That's what I first thought. And I was like, wow, that could be insanity. Da da da. Now it's no. There was time. Yeah. Like he left. And then did he come back? And then he went back to the hotel where they found the bloody.
So does he live in LA, or was he just?
He was living in the guest house, right?
I think he was living in the guest house. And I think what happened is, I bet there was some moment where there was some conversation, and we'll never know, because it was probably just Michelle and Rob, where he was probably like, we're done. You're not living here anymore. Come, January 1st, or you're not staying here tonight. Like, I can't take it anymore, because they'd always given him so many chances. Mm-hmm. But then also he did have some form of schizophrenia or whatever. And they had been playing with his medication while he was at this $70,000 a month place. And people in that field said they should have kept him there for an amount of days to see how this medication worked. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the best insanity defense, and who's negligent or whatever. But the prosecutors, I think, feel like they can show that, he's not insane or whatever. But it seems like he is definitely crazy.
This poor family.
So it's like, if he was to go to be, sentenced for insanity, but like in a different facility, you really never want that person to get out.
Right.
Like, I don't care, 20, 10, 15 years from now, because there's no question that he couldn't fall back into being obsessed with the fame and the family and where does the sister live and her kids. And I just know that I'd be like,
and God forbid,
like, I hope you're in a safe place. I hope people aren't throwing poo at you, but like, I don't want you, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
like
sure
that.
She still doesn't want it to be like inhumane.
Right.
But would you ever want him to get out?
Never. No.
I mean, it's like Mike Myers going after, Jamie Lee Curtis her whole life.
And it's your parents.
Halloween.
Like,
and she saw the
forever.
trauma. She had the trauma. She found them.
Her life is she knows it is completely. And that, it's not like they passed away from a heart attack or like.
And she found them.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Wow. She found them.
Well, anyway, so that's Juicy Crimes. That's what I'm saying. That's like that's,
yes.
Like, if you're ready for that, and then I still kind of talk about things funny the way I always do. So it's like, yeah, I'm not being totally sensitive to the victims. This isn't Dateline where I'm like, talking about how the person, whatever, played jump rope. Like, I'm just like, okay, this was really weird. Is these people divorced and this, like I get to it.
Yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah,
you're saying you're saying out loud what we're all thinking.
Right, like what was it? Yeah.
And Juicy Scoop, you're doing twice a week. And are you filming twice a week, or are you filming?
Yeah,
in
we've
batches?
been doing it on YouTube, all of it. But we've been doing Juicy Scoop has been around for over 10 years, and we've been doing the YouTube, I think, for like the last 5 or 6. So we've always filmed, which was like. It's like when it started, I was doing it one day a week and it was not being filmed. Then I was like, oh my gosh, Now I'm doing it twice. Why did I ever start that? Then we're filming it. Oh God, now I have to be cute twice a week. Then I start Juicy Crimes. Now I have to be so
smart.
Like,
now you have to be smart.
Why did I do all that? Like,
Yeah.
what? But I do love it, and I never run out of things to say. So,
And how do you get all your juicy scoop?
I am like fucking on that phone. Like whenever they do the phone thing, because I don't really like use a computer. My husband's always like, I got you that computer. I'm on the phone like 18 hours a day.
Do you just have
Because
correspondence?
I just read. I'm just reading. No, I follow everything. I read stuff. I also love like TikTok journalist type people. And so sometimes I'll see something or even I'll read something in a comment and they'll be like, oh, I think it was the ex-husband or whatever. And I'm like, ex-husband? And then I'm like, when was she married before? And like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, wait, they never even had kids. Like, do you know about the couple in Ohio?
Yes, that's devastating. That is so scary.
So they were married. So the couple in Ohio were killed in their home. The children were spared. They have arrested her ex-husband, but she was married to him for under 2 years, from 2015 to 2017. Then they broke up, allegedly amicably, or that's what people thought. He was a surgeon, not like a loser.
A vascular surgeon.
Yeah. Then she goes and marries her dentist in like 21. They have their 2 kids. They lived hundreds of miles apart. What would spark that? And so, but I do believe that with really weird stalker type people, it could be, who knows? Maybe all of a sudden he started to see her on social media. He never even knew she had an account. Something it's very weird. Yeah.
That's
is
a
scary.
weird one. That's like someone just spun.
Yeah.
Or he's on some kind of medication.
I mean, he's saying he's innocent, so we'll see. But
yeah,
I think they have a lot of evidence.
Yeah.
Like his car and stuff.
Give us some good gossip, like juicy scoop gossip, something like a little nugget.
What area of like, what do you want to know?
Housewives.
Housewives. Is that like do you love Housewives? Is that your thing? Or are you all aboard celebrity gossip?
I mean, I really have always enjoyed the Housewives. Like the minute, like I remember where I was, you know, like my mom would be like, I remember where I was when JFK got shot and we all ran in the street and cried. I remember like what Ralph's I was at when I saw this like Star magazine and it was an ad for Real Housewives of OC and they were holding the orange. And I'm like, oh, that's so clever. That's Desperate Housewives. Instead of the apple, they're holding an orange and it's Orange County. Like what a cool idea for a reality show, you know? And then when I was writing and producing Chelsea Lately and appearing on it, I started to watch the show and I'm like, Chelsea, this show, you're going to die. Like this woman, Vicky, is like, I was like imitating her. And so
Your impersonations are so good.
she wasn't really like, which Chelsea wasn't that into it, but we did the one time she was like, okay, they're pitching people and we need people from what housewife should we have? And I was like, oh, well, Jill Zarin and Bethany at the time, they were best friends from New York. I go, they would be really funny. So she gets them on. And I knew Bethany, like we kind of knew each other. Like the night before she came on, I had this notebook of when I would like do stand up, I would be out before, like just being a cute girl. Like, and well, what do you do? Well, I'm a stand up, but I do groundlings, whatever. And then people were like, oh, I'd like to go. And I'd write down their number because I was always like inviting people. You always just bring people or fill the theater. So the weekend before she came on the show, Bethany, I find this notebook. And it's all these people's names, and it's Bethany, and I'm like, so when I walked in, she's like,
because she was in LA, right? She lived in
she
LA.
was, and she always was into comedy and stuff. And I go, she's like, how do I know you? And I'm like, is this your 310 number from like 1990, whatever? And she's like, oh my God. And it says, met at Rebecca's in Santa Monica, which was like kind of a hot spot.
Yes.
And so I was like, oh my God. So, but then they broke up. Jill and Bethany, but then Jill I always stayed friends with, and it really, there's certain housewives that are really funny like her that I really have connected with. And so like a few years ago I was staying at their house and I like love her daughter who's now like 32, Allie. But it was just when they put on all the episodes and all the seasons on Peacock, and so people were like binging, and they hadn't watched the show in like 15 years, like of the first one, and we're watching it. And we're dying. And Allie, who's like, you know, it's like 14 walking around. And she's like, oh my God, Mom, like, I can't believe, like, you're send me to a fat camp, like, on a reality show.
Can you imagine now? What
Yeah,
that
and
would
just
do?
like, oh my God, people are going to hate me for this. Oh my God, I'm going to get canceled again. I mean, this is what we did. You know, Gloria made me, stay thin my whole life. I was trying to be helpful, Allie, and like, so like, I do love it for that. I still watch it and I do enjoy it, but I grow out of I don't follow all the shows like I did. Like I did like the Vanderpump at the height of Vanderpump, but I'm not like watching the new one that much. But I'll watch Beverly Hills, Salt Lake for sure.
Yeah, those are my
Those
favorite.
two are like I'm very into. And I'll, like if the oldies ever come back, which I think they will.
Salt Lake for me is my absolute favorite. We send clips to each other all the time.
Meredith. I mean, Meredith is just something.
Well, thank you for thinking that. Everybody's been attacking and brutalizing my family.
No,
Yeah,
do the imitation of the one.
You
leave me. Leave.
Yeah. You can leave now.
She is so.
I mean, talking about Seth, having a girlfriend, and it's so funny though. Like she's like having fun. She's like DJing. Seth is on the stage dancing, and then in her song, it's like there's like a video behind her, and it's like my husband doesn't have a mistress in Ohio, and she's like. And of course, she's not really DJing.
Wait, who was the
like
one who said it? The one who's getting divorced now with the short hair.
Whitney?
Bronwyn didn't say it. Brittany brought up the TikTok, but Bronwyn was.
She said she saw him.
She's like
at a restaurant.
Well, Todd and I really didn't want to bring this up, but Todd and I were having dinner, and we saw Seth with a female that wasn't Meredith. I don't know if they were doing business, but. It makes it uncomfortable to say anything. So,
my favorite things that you used to do were the Barbies, where you would dress the Barbies, cut their hair, and do the whole voiceovers of all of the characters from the Housewives. It was so good.
Yes. So the Barbies came about because I was like, one day I was like, oh my God, this Barbie looked like whatever, one of the Housewives. And then I just thought, oh, that'd be so funny to do acting and out. But it took a lot of time. And I did have an assistant at the time that would do it. So like on the day that we weren't filming, like whatever that day was, it was like the day after Beverly Hills came out. So I was trying to, and I'm not a seamstress sort of thing. And then I found this Juicy Scoop where that was like, I'll send you all the outfits. And she really could sew. And so when they would like take a photo of like, this is the reunion looks, then she would have a couple weeks to put together all the reunion looks. And then I like bought a little couch and like, and I'd be there like shaking and I'd do all the voices and stuff. But as fun as it was and as fun as people liked it, one of those things is it didn't really like raise my profile because you didn't know it was me versus someone that's just like doing a bunch of impressions or whatever. And so then that assistant moved on. And so I was like, I can't like do this anymore. And then this one girl did it and started doing it, and she put in her bio Cheater Brand.
Oh,
because she's like, and I saw her at a BravoCon. She's like, I'm the one that does like the dolls now. You must hate me. And I'm like, no, I don't. I go, it's so much work. Like, go for it. But she did it with, and she did really good. Like but she would just play the voice of the episode over.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but I would make up things that would make it funnier. Like I would like take one thing they said and like exaggerate it and whatever. So I think all that stuff is great. But even then, like I don't know that I think she stopped after a while. Like that stuff is like
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and like yes, it's very lovely to like get the comments and stuff. But but the dolls are great when and especially, and then there's like other people that are so talented, like they like literally can make the face like look like people, like these guys that like
do they have like the Barbie faces?
Yeah, they'll like take a Barbie and they'll like
mold them.
Yeah, they'll like mold them, and like I mean it's just amazing.
That's wild.
And I'm like, you should reach out to the star and like sell it to them because it's like that really looks like them. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love all the housewife stuff though. Because Because it's like constant. It gives you so much entertainment. We laugh about it
Would
all
you
the time.
ever do it if they came?
No,
Never.
absolutely not.
Because you are going to be audited. You are going to get a divorce.
You're gonna lose.
Your
friends.
kids are gonna start going to rehab. It's like a no. It's an absolute no.
Have you guys been approached over the years?
Yes.
To do like a Real Housewives of Westlake Village or something?
The Housewives brand. Yes.
Yes. And have you sat down with all the girls, all the Barbies that you take photos with? Do you guys discuss it?
Well, it happened a few years ago. So
Okay.
we all sort of had our time where we did consider it, but I'm so happy that it didn't work out that way, because now, just much more older and wiser, that's something that just doesn't go well for anybody. I don't see any success coming from that, or any family.
Anything that is in that type world, that reality, it's like a hard no.
I think
for me.
the only person
Because I think
that
you don't have rights to all of that. Like they can
You
make
have
you look
nothing.
any way you
and the
want.
thing, I mean, it's all edited. So
I mean,
it's
they
like,
want.
So like if I said something to you and the storyline is how you guys actually think I'm really annoying and you hate me, whatever, and I say something and you're just like this, they'll take another clip of you where you were like, maybe you're yawning. Maybe you actually were yawning an hour before I said that. And then and it's like, oh wow, like there's nothing you can do.
The only reality show is like if you owned it. Like I'm pretty sure the Kardashians own theirs.
Well, she always had final edit, which is great because she would also allow cracks and things. She would also allow people to sometimes look not so great, like when the girls are like
But
fighting
not
and
as
things.
disparaging as the Housewives.
Not to the point where there's no protection or whatever. Because I mean, look, if it's juicy, they're not thinking about, oh wow, this could really hurt this person, because they're working so hard. The producers are working so hard. It's like it's all a thing. It's all like selling your soul to the devil.
You really do.
I think the only people that I think it was fun and it was good and it didn't hurt them is like a Carol Radziwill, because she didn't have a husband and she didn't have any kids.
Right.
And
That's
she wasn't
the only
on
way.
for very long, right?
She was on for like 6 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
But she came off great and you got to see her cool side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good friends with her. And I always said, yeah, but she didn't lose a husband over it. A kid wasn't like pissed.
She didn't throw wine at people and start crying
But she threw a leg, right? Is that the
No,
one? Oh,
that's
the other one.
Eva Drescher. And that story was like, that was so planned out.
That was crazy. Oh,
Yeah.
wrong leg.
She threw a rubber leg.
And then she wanted Harry Dubin to carry her out because that was her first husband. So the whole plan was she was going to throw the leg, and then Harry, who was at that party that like has like hit on all the women, was supposed to carry her out.
It's so premeditated.
On her part, it was.
Yeah.
Like normally, that's why the girls were like, oh God, because they're not like that. Like Sonia, Dorinda, Luann, they're not.
I
they
feel
weren't
like
planning
Bethany
stuff.
came out really well. Like she
Yes,
had her
she's
own
so-
business.
Yeah.
She owns all of that,
Yeah.
skinny stuff, and Bravo doesn't have any rights to that. So that's a whole
And
thing.
all these women seem like they'd be so much fun, right? Like they do have good energy. They do seem like they're good people. But then again, like you're on the show for so long, you kind of lose your identity in it. So then when they get not picked up again, you feel terrible because they're like now just like a friend who comes on.
Well, I mean,
they get devastated by it.
I mean, I think fame is a form of addiction. And I think for people, it's okay, now I am on the show. I am used to the fame of it. I like the routine of it. And I don't want to lose it. I've already gotten divorced. And I think a lot of women go on going, either I want my asshole husband to see what an asshole he's being on camera and change, or I want the world to see what an asshole he is so that I can divorce him and then maybe do something else. So I think that's why there's so many divorces.
If your hair is changing, thinning, shedding, or just not feeling like you, Leaf and Flower was made for this season of life. Their plant-based formulas are powered by a CBD corrective complex, THC-free, to help balance the scalp and support stronger, healthier looking hair without harsh ingredients. I'm obsessed with the phytomolecular oil. It restores shine and softens without weighing the hair down. And the Tame and Fix Flyaway Stick, it's a must for frizz and wiry hairs. I keep them everywhere. Because growth doesn't stop at 40. It just needs the right support. Try Leaf and Flower and feel the difference today. Use code WhatShe15 for 15% off at leafandflower.com.
There's so much like desperation for a storyline.
Yeah.
That's to me it's like what's real, what's not real. And I feel like so many struggle to be relevant in the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's like, yeah, when it's, but then, then you want to stay on it because now that's your business. Like, you know, it's not like you were selling bagels and people were like, ugh, I hated what the owner of that bagel thing said about this political thing, but it's still the best bagels in town. So I'm just going to go to, it's like all on you. So if you come off horribly on the show or whatever, then any business you have could be hurt. But if your whole business is just being you, now you're so desperate to stay on. And they can like screw you money wise, like if there's they say, oh, you're supposed to get more each year, but then they can also say, well, we're not going to pay that. What are you going to do about it? You're going to really walk away from the whole thing, or are you going to stay relevant and be on it and take less money?
Is there a housewife that you could think of that's still married? Like, have any of them stayed married?
Well, only Lisa Vanderpump, but she left.
She
the
left.
Housewives.
Yeah.
And Joe and Melissa Gorga. They're the only ones.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And Margaret and her husband came on married from New Jersey and are still married, but still she's been on a long time, but she hasn't been on as long as like Melissa has.
Yeah. Because Melissa's been since the beginning.
No, she was like season 2. Remember? Because Teresa got so mad that she came on, or 3. She was like season 2 or 3.
I can't.
That was vicious.
I've been watching it this long.
I know. You know what? It makes me feel so good. I take a bath. I have a TV in my bathroom. And my husband looks at me. He's like, why do you watch this trash?
I would say, why do you watch sports?
Yeah.
Like, why are you watching a bunch of guys get in tiny pants and you wear, their jerseys and they beat up people? And like, why? I think that's dumb.
Yeah, that's true. Like, why do they watch a boxing match?
I don't care. I don't know
It's-
anything. I don't know.
it's
Like,
not
I'm like,
that
are the
he's-
Rams going to be in the Super Bowl? That would be fun.
Yeah, no, it's not that he's judging me. He's judging them. And he's like,
Right.
they're terrible. What are you getting from this? And I'm like, I actually feel really good about my friendships.
Yeah.
I feel really good about myself because this is bad. How they treat each other, the drama.
Yeah, and it's just also like they're our age and it's just kind of interesting and it's kind of fun and it's sort of an escapism. But yeah, sometimes you do then have like a moral thing where you're like, this is awful. Like, why is everyone like destroying each other's businesses and stuff like that? And that's the difference. Like, that would never happen on the Kardashians.
Right.
Like the girls might be mad that, I feel like the girls now kind of fake stories of like being mad at each other to make something happen. Like, oh, you stole my idea of getting married in Italy or whatever, but they would never, there would never be a scene where Kim takes a Lemmy gummy of Courtney and is like, this sucks. What?
Spits it
Look
out.
how bad this is. And then all the girls taste it. Oh, this tastes terrible.
Right. They're not.
That's what they
ruining
do on
each other.
Housewives.
Yeah.
They make fun of someone's, hair product and this and that. And now it's like,
they really
wow.
aren't supportive. They're not like
They're not-
girls to each other.
No.
And you would think that they would be friends because they are of like mind.
Right.
Right. They're the same sort of age group. They have the same sort of money or income. You would just think that I feel like the Salt Lake City ones, the Utah, I feel like they care about each other, but then like in this last part, except for
More, I
Brittany
think
and
them more than
Bronwyn.
anybody are kind of like
friends, right?
friendly, but also playing the game to keep the show going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like that whole Greek tragedy thing.
That
at the
was
end,
so
I think
good.
at the end though, it was really to tell the girls like,
Oh, it's so
and
good.
when they all like die, I think it was like, some gay producer was like, see, if you don't play with your sister, the whole show will be dead. So you better make up and you better
Yeah.
play nice. And
They're all bawling because they don't want to
like
lose
it's so
the show.
weird when they would say, as people have been watching a long time, when like a Tamara Judge or someone would say, the show is about conflict and resolution. It's like, when did that start? That's not what it was about. It was this guy met these women in Costa de Casa, thought the gated community and Housewives was fascinating. He was a TV producer, and he was like, "Oh, I think people would like to like get an insight of what your life is like." It was not, and then could you all like hate each other and blackmail each other?
Aspirational. It was more aspirational, and then it's turned into like really some of the franchises are horrible. All they do is fight. Like they can't get a meal over with without a fight or like a wig being thrown at somebody or a wine glass being thrown at somebody or a leg, right?
Yeah.
I like on the reunion coming up for I think it's the Salt Lake City where Andy just walks off. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm over it." Like,
I mean,
because they're all balking at each other.
Yeah.
and
I'm
he's like,
sure someone asked me,
"I'm outta
"Why?
here."
What do you think happened? What do you think sparked that?" Because we just see like the clip. I'm like, I just think he's a guy in his mid-50s.
yeah.
He's been doing this for 20 years. And he just was literally like, probably had to take an Advil. Like he just was like,
Yeah.
I
It's
can't.
a bunch of hens just
Yeah.
yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
I'm vested in it though.
I like a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, the Salt Lake City one is my.
It's
that
fun.
one's my
It's fun, and I love Beverly Hills because, like, that's where we live, and
Yeah.
it's fun, and they're all interesting, and I've like interviewed and hung out with all of them, and so to me, even if they have like kind of a boring episode, it's still like interesting to look. Like when the city is beautiful,
Right.
when it's New York, when it's Miami, when it's LA. Sometimes with Salt Lake, White Mountains are pretty, but like to me, like
They don't go anywhere.
yeah,
cool.
Salt
they
Lake,
don't do much.
Atlanta, Dallas, like
Yeah.
aesthetically, it's not as enticing as like the
Yeah.
other three cities. So I think that makes a difference too. Like they have to be that much more exciting themselves.
I agree.
Let's talk about later in life lesbians.
Yes. I don't want to be a late life lesbian, but I would enjoy a wife. Either one of
Right.
you
Could
would
that
do.
happen?
I don't know.
let me see.
I love when like you're so good about like decorating and everything. And when I stayed with Jill Zarin recently, she's got such a great aesthetic eye for things. And and also she made me like matzo ball soup.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
so she
Catholic,
really
but I
took
also would
care
like a
of you.
Jewish mother / wife. And then she's like, "Look, I made homemade ice cream." She brings it over to her dad, who's like 96. And they live in like this like area in Boca, like the whole area. So cute. And and then so I think though, that I would love. I would just like a wife that like organizes shit and like
Makes a reservation.
buys the things.
Yeah.
You could
and
share
like,
clothes. I get that part. Like,
yeah, I don't want to be gay. Like I'm not attracted
You
to
don't wanna lick
women.
box.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to. I'm very lazy as it is. So I'm
Right.
definitely not going to be like participating that way. And I don't think any woman's ever been attracted to me. I actually had a woman, a lesbian, tell me that when I was like 25. She was like, "I don't think any lesbian will ever like you," and I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Thanks. But I think like anything, I think it just can happen. I mean, when it comes to like Kyle and Morgan, she bought a house in Nashville. You can hang out with her.
Wow.
oh, who
Maybe
did?
you'll be a late in life lesbian.
But are
No,
they-
no,
are they-
definitely not me.
Can you sing like Kimberly Dawn?
But you could live like. Actually, we couldn't.
No, I
probably
can-
live together.
No.
I could live with
No.
my sister. My sister and I used to live together, and before we found husbands, and I mean, I am like 100%. Once we're widows, which hope God willing they'll go first. And then I'm like, then let's just live together. Like we'll just get
Yeah.
one caretaker.
Right. That's fun.
And then we just live together, and like a fun one that's like down and like whatever TV is at the time, like watch our shows, do our thing.
It just
And-
seems easier than dealing with the men all the time. I mean, I love
Yeah.
my husband, but a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, no woman when their husband goes out of town is like, they're like, yes.
Well, some
We
people
need a
do.
moment. We
Oh,
need a
well, I
moment.
mean, yeah, like so this was kind of hard. So Peter like found this like Sun Valley deal, and it's like the whole food and wine and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, he could take Drake, and they're really good skiers, and Sun Valley is like really hard skiing, whatever. And I never got good. I never got better. Like the kids surpassed me by like 8 years old. And they're like, we'll go down one run with mom. And so I'm like, oh my God, like you're going to be gone this whole week. Like I could have a dinner party at my house with like girls. Like I feel like a teenager that's like sometimes like the dad and brother have left. Like it's just weird.
Oh, it's
just
exciting.
It's a nice reset.
So,
Yes.
yeah. You know. But then when we go on vacation together and stuff, we always have fun and it's like it's fine. But yeah, sometimes it's nice to
Oh my God, if I'm left alone this holiday, Devin took the kids and he was gone for a couple days. I came home 2 days early and it was like the drive coming home. I was so excited. I got in the house. It was like risky business. I was like running around, playing it's my dream. That's my dream because I'm
she has
never
little kids. It's a
I'm
very
never
different
alone
thing.
in the
Right.
house.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I
that's
can.
kind of when I would do stand up on the weekends, which I would not do it that often because I was working full time on Chelsea. But the kids were little, and I liked being alone in a hotel room. I liked actually sleeping till late because when they're little, you never can sleep.
Yes.
And when you're still having to do like bath time and all that kind of stuff, and so yeah, I think everybody loves it. It's nothing to feel bad about. Like, yeah.
It's such a dream. Wait, I have to ask this. Okay, so when you're doing the stand-up and you're on stage and you're talking about your husband and your boys, as you do, how are they just like, no, this is mom's job. She has to do this. Or do they sometimes go like, fuck you, mom. Are you kidding me?
They never have.
They've always been understanding.
The only time that sometimes I think like, I don't even know, but like if other men are like to my husband a little bit like, oh, she's a ball buster. But the truth is, if you really listen to the stand up, I'm more like self-deprecating. Like I'm more like, oh, I'm like the Lucy, that like fucked up something and now I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't do this thing, whatever. So, with my kids, my first special came out and they were younger. And I said, I don't want you to ever see my stand up until you're 16. Because I had a joke about hot rods that fell into a pile of poop and all that kind of stuff, and I just thought, oh, they're too little. And then my younger son did see it somehow. It was like on the TiVo or whatever. And he was laughing so hard when I said that Drake, my older son, was my least favorite. He loved that part. And then there was something about him, and then he got kind of mad.
Yeah.
But now, of course, I was right. If they would have waited till 16, then they're mature. Like it doesn't matter. And then the other stuff that I have that's like about them now, like no, they've all seen it. They've come on the road with me. They're funny. I used to joke and be like, listen, if I was a farmer, you'd have to get up at 5 a.m. and like pick corn. But I'm going to maybe but also if it ever did bother them, same thing. One time I was up for a reality show of my own. We did a whole pilot. We pitched it to all these networks. And it was after Chelsea Lately. I don't even know if I'd started my podcast. So I kind of needed this to work, I needed another show. And so I was like, oh, it's so funny. My older son acts like he's 50, but he's 9. So he plays golf with my husband. And we came up with all this funny stuff. And I had a scene with Liz and girlfriends. And they liked it, this production company. So one day we had to film all this stuff to put the little scissor reel together. And anyway, it didn't go. And then just 2 years ago, my son was like, oh my God, I hated that so much. I had decided that if it was to go, I was just not going to participate. And I was like, oh my God, what if it had gone? What the fuck would I have done?
Yeah.
And then I just also thought, oh my God, that's really bad. That's really bad that a child feels obligated to work.
Yeah.
And really, honestly, reality TV and entertainment and any kind of social media, Instagram, is really the only place where child labor is allowed. And we wouldn't put them in a factory. We wouldn't have them working at McDonald's at 9. That those laws have changed. So, and they don't know how to say it because they're and then it's really awkward. And now there's all these men, speaking of Mary from Real House of Salt Lake City, her son having a drug problem. And then he's like, hey, and she's like, did you use today? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, now imagine he's struggling with drug addiction. And she's like, hey, at 4:00, we're filming. Be ready to film. You have to film. That probably gave him anxiety. That probably caused him to smoke some weed. And it's not her fault. She probably thought, well, and then everyone goes, oh, thank you so much for showing us your issues. And they love her because they're like, oh God, so many of us struggle with that with the older kids or whatever. But then I was like, okay, but look at the bigger picture. You probably shouldn't have this kid on camera, and you should probably separate it all together. And so I do think that's, good reason why you guys didn't do the show.
Yeah, absolutely
because
not.
Of your kids.
There's
when people ask me, would I ever do it? I'm like, the only way I would do it is if it was just women. Like if we were just going on trips or whatever.
But you're in the limelight. Like you've had fame for so long. So
but I would never
you
want,
can navigate it differently.
I wouldn't want like cameras to see a glimpse of like maybe one of my sons not being completely respectful.
Yeah, understand.
And I know it doesn't mean anything, and it's taken out of context, and every family has their weird dynamic. Like we call each other like knucklehead and like, you know what I mean? But like, but they would take the one clip where like maybe my son is like, God, mom's a knucklehead, and then every woman's like, if that was my son, I would da da da, and it's like, and then the kid sees that, and then they feel bad. Oh my God, I'm a bad kid. You know what I mean? It's just such a weird thing.
Well,
so I wouldn't want to put them on camera even at this age.
This is the only, there's like a generation now of like these reality kids, the YouTube kid families, and they're now coming into adulthood. So they don't know what the circumstances, the mental health problems will come from this, right? We haven't seen it yet because they're just now coming into this. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over like the next 20 years.
Journalist who's like interviewed all these
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like especially these YouTube families that have every morning and they just have a camera set up in their house and people are watching them. It's like an addiction.
No, there was this one girl that this journalist interviewed or followed the story, and she got her period and she had to do a whole brand deal about her period.
Oh shit.
And and the mom was like,
how
it's $3,000. You better be excited about this maxi pad, and then if they say I don't want to do it, and then the parents are like, well,
I mean,
did you hear that? Your big sister doesn't want to talk about her flow. Well, guess you're not going to go to gymnastics anymore.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Guess we have to leave the house. I guess they won't go to summers. Like the pressure of doing that.
It's unbelievable.
It's replaced the child actor syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, so I grew up so when we were growing up in Woodland Hills, one day this family next door had these kids came to visit, and they had an agent, and the mom was like, yeah, your kids are great. To my mom, you should talk to Iris Burton, who was like the best agent in town. So we go to meet her, and we go up to these Hollywood Hill steps, my two sisters and I. So there's three of us, and she's like, like this New York like woman, and she's like, and then she didn't like these other kids that had just come before us, and she goes, it's not going to work for you. This isn't the business for you. And then she goes, leave the light on for the McDonald's. And my mom always thought that was like, oh my God, so then she liked us. And my older sister had brown hair and brown eyes. I have brown hair and brown eyes. My middle sister, the attorney, she had blue, green eyes with blonde hair. And those are the only people working at that time. That's what you wanted. She had freckles, whatever. So she got like all these big commercials, I got one little commercial. Do you remember a place called Marineland?
Yes, of course.
So it was from Marineland, which it went away. And this is an awful story, especially now with like Black Sea or what was that called? Well, whatever. But this is what happened. So I had to go do this commercial, and I remember. So my dad had me at 45, so he had full white hair before I was born. I was like the youngest of 5, and my mom stopped taking the pill because someone got a blood clot, and then she had 2 more kids. So I was not meant to be here. But anyway, so they're like, "This is your dad," and I remember it was like this hot guy with like dark hair and these big arms, and I'm like, how is this my dad? Like, I'm like, he's like probably 25 years old. And I'm like 5 years old. And I had to like hold on to this forearm. And I had to be like, look, Dad. And it was this whale and her daughter. So it was like orca and whatever, baby orca. And it was going to be this big thing. Come see baby orca. And I'm like, I had this big part. Finally, my commercial came through. And we're sitting and, my mom's making like spaghetti, whatever. The TV's on. We always had a TV on in the kitchen. And the news breaks, and like breaking news, like the mother, like whatever, had postpartum, killed the little baby.
Oh my gosh.
In that sad pool, probably, and And I was just like, oh my gosh.
There goes my commercial.
Yeah, there goes my commercial. And they're like, well, guess we're not going to see any residuals on that, Heather. You know, like, and I was just like,
Cancel
oh my
Christmas,
God.
Heather.
Yeah. And so then my sister, like, she got a lot of parts. And then the kids started to bully her at school. Not TV, just tons of commercials. And back then you could like really make a lot of money, you know? And so my sister's like, people are mean to me, Mom. They always ask me how much I make on the commercials. And my mother said, just tell them a lot. Well, that didn't help.
Oh,
so then my sister said, a lot. Everyone's like, "Arr!" Like they just like hated her, you know? But yeah, so then, you know, then it dries up. Then you get to the age where you're not being picked anymore. And for my sister, it was fine. She didn't care.
And she's an attorney now. Is that
she's
the attorney?
An attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I remember we got somehow we managed to do an addition to the house. I don't know that all went into the Coogan account, you know, like luckily for her, she doesn't care. And she still went to law school and did fine. But there was one point where I was like, it's not really fair that like, because they paid for her Santa Clara and they paid for my USC, but they said, you got to get loans for your law school. And I'm like, there's no way to know now, you know, like where that money. But I'm like, oh,
yeah, a lot of funky stuff is happening.
Who knows how much you made, you know? And then my niece did it, and she made a lot of money, and you didn't get hers either, you know? So it's like, it's a hard thing. And I get it. Like, I mean, the checks are rolling in, and you need it, and it's just like there's those rules, but who's. I mean, look what's happening now with like fraud. Like who's going to really make sure that the kid on the Nickelodeon show, that the parents in Santa Clarita are doing the right thing at Bank of America?
Yeah.
Like nobody's.
But don't the parents get a portion of it? Like aren't they considered
It's
like a
20%?
They can get a percentage, but it's literally like the check comes. And it's up to them to,
Deposit
put it into this account,
so wild.
Take their little portion, or they just take the whole thing. And
that's wild.
So you've been in this business for such a long time, and now it's a family affair. Is Peter working with you as well?
So like about 10 years ago, after my first year of the podcast, there were just things that like when I was doing my stand-up special and he was like, this contract's awful. You're never going to make $1 off of this thing. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to do this as a special, you know? And then there would be like something with the PR thing and he'd look at that and he'd be like, well, this doesn't make sense and da-da-da-da. And so then I was like, well, why don't you just get involved then? Like, why are you criticizing my people? Why don't you just like be involved? So then when he really got involved when I left Podcast One and went to Wondery. And then from there, there was a time when we did everything ourselves and he like taught himself how to do it and everything. And so then throughout the years, then like I've had producers and stuff, but then with Drake, he was just finishing while he was at ASU, he was like cutting clips and things for me. So when he came here, I was like, why don't you live at home for like a year, work on all of this stuff. And he was really good. We had a big deal at UTA and he read it and he was like, well, this doesn't make sense because this. And I'm like, oh my God, nobody caught that? Like nobody.
That's amazing.
There's so many things. I just went to a party last night and I was like, the other day for Spotify, because they had podcast, category. And I go, oh, and our agent was there. And the guy from our podcast network was there. And he goes, and he goes, what do you mean? I go, yeah, they were like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And he goes, why didn't they get you invited? And I'm like, yeah, how did I get invited? So then I see it. I'm like, no, the girl who put the party together is a Juicy Scooper. And she just was like a fan. Like nobody does anything for you. Mm-hmm. Like I'm so nobody's really like pitching and hungry. They can execute deals good, like no one's going to like fuck, William Morris when I go do Vegas. I'm not going to like not get paid. So I like that. And I have both, like I work with both agencies, but you gotta,
But now
yeah,
you got
so it's
family
like that you
looking
have your
out.
back. Like
Yeah.
So
working with your
nice.
spouse is hard. And my parents worked together as like residential realtors. And my sister and I were just like hated that they worked together and they like always talking about some listing meal and like yelling at each other. And we'd like lay in our little twin beds and we'd say, no matter what happens, if we ever get married, we'll never work with our husbands. We'll never work with my husband. And then her husband's an attorney and she doesn't work with him full time, but she's had times in her life where she's worked on cases and stuff with him. And then I worked with him. And I'm like, oh my God. And there's just like a lot of similarities. And I'm like, so I'm trying to like change every day. I'm like trying to make it better, but you'll never be more successful in a family. Like a family business is a success, but it is hard. It can often take the sexiness out of life. That's for sure.
We worked together for 15 years.
Oh, right.
Like in the same office. He was one floor, I was the other. And then we had a work divorce because when I had my twins, I had this grandeur idea that I was going to go back to work, and that was like not happening right away. And then when I wanted to go back to work, he was like, yeah, we have no place for you here. And I understood it because church and state, it worked out better for us. That's why it's like so exciting for me now to have like my own things because he's not a part of it. And not that I don't want him to be, but I'll bring him in if I ever need to.
Yeah.
But it's so fun to like have my own identity.
Yeah.
But our careers and our successes in life were built together.
Yes.
And that to me is such an accomplishment. There's people at my company better at things than I am.
With my situation now, it's like I do all the content myself. And it's just never like that, and sometimes he'll be like, well, what you should have said. I'm like, you know what? I've made a lot of money on what I've said.
Right.
So, you might find me annoying and say I interrupt people, but nobody else fucking cares. So like, go golf, like whatever.
Has your definition
Go golf all day.
Yeah.
Has your definition of success changed as you've gotten older?
I mean, for me, it's always been my family's always been the most important thing. And I remember watching Joan Rivers in her documentary like 15 years ago, What a Face or whatever. And there was this moment, and I was watching it while I was doing 5 shows in Denver, and I went to like a movie theater in the day and watched it. And she just, had all these jokes. My stand-up is more stories, but she had all these jokes, her style. And she said, oh, I'm only truly happy when I'm on stage or something. At least that's how I remember the part. And I thought, well, that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, I'm very happy just being normal. I'm happy sitting back with a bunch of non-famous celebrity, funny people, like, and just hearing their stories. And so sometimes people like in the Westlake group, whatever, will say like, that's the comedian, like the girl that came to dinner that just like sat there.
And wasn't funny.
Yeah, like, because I'm like, well, no, I'm like, I'm just gonna be me. Like, I don't feel like I have to take over or whatever like that. But like, so no, for me, it's always just been, as long as I can do something that I like and that, I do. I don't have jealousy. Like, there was a time where there was more jealousy. Like, I opened the phone, oh, here's a Deadline article of someone I know that got something. And it's like, oh, Heather, remember you're Christian, like, don't be happy for your friend. Like, don't be jealous. Now I don't want for anything. Like, I'm really like, if something bigger happens at this point, great. If not, like, I get so much joy when I wake up in the morning and I read the comments and I know I did a good show, and like, I'm just happy with that.
And your life is in a great place, like your beautiful new home, just the way you live your life with your family, the golfing, all the things that you do. It's so important. And I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that's amazing. A woman doing all of this.
I agree. I have to ask, if you have one bit of advice, like give a nugget to our listeners of, in a world that sometimes I would imagine in the comedy world that you were in, it was a very hard world to get into because it was probably very male dominant. So what advice would you give to navigate someone's career path and keep going for it and to be tenacious and to, like you said, go after what you want, get it, and then be grateful for what you have?
I mean, I think, any job or date or anything you go on, the other person wants it to be you. So if you go on a date, that guy wants you to be the woman he wants to spend the rest of his life with. If you go on an audition, They want it to be you. They want to stop. Everyone's lazy. They want the job to end. They don't want to go through 500 more people. And I think I didn't really get that. I always kind of felt like, oh, they're against me. This bitchy casting director, is just a bit. She doesn't give a shit about me. She's just trying to get through the job. If I'm not right for it, I'm not right for it. So it's like, I think that like people need to realize that, people want it to be you and it should be you, but also find the thing that you're good at, because not everybody's good at everything. And just, if you can make that any kind of a business, or even if you're doing your regular thing while you just do a little passion project on the side, like to just keep your passion going. Cause like I did real estate for years. I didn't make money at this for years, but as long as I was still like doing something in it, it was satisfying to me. And so, yeah, that would be my advice. And just like, yeah, every day I think the biggest thing people are jealous of about me, and I hate saying that people are jealous because that's like such a thing, like your mother would say, is I'm just like inherently pretty happy person. And I know it's hard to be happy. I know a lot of people are not happy, but like, I feel like there's times where I'm like, God, why was everyone so like mad? I read these comments. Oh, she walked into the room and she acted like people were happy to see her. And I'm like, but I did think people were happy to see me. Like I did. I was like, hey, here's the life of the party. Like, so I was like, okay, well, if that pisses you off, then like, what? And then I kind of realized, oh, that's probably it. It's just like being pretty positive and happy as a person.
It is funny that people get mad at that. Like when you're happy, they're like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah. She thinks she's better than us.
Yeah, why are you in such a good mood?
Okay, we're going to do rapid fire.
Okay.
I have to put on glasses because I can't even.
Okay, I just want to make sure what time it is.
Yeah, and then we're going to be done.
Okay. 4:52. Oh, okay. Let's wrap
it
up.
Ready?
Quick.
Okay. Bravo or Netflix?
I'm going to say Netflix right now.
Okay, Housewives or real life drama?
Oh, definitely Housewives.
A celebrity that you'd spill wine on by accident but not apologize for?
Glonessa from Shaw's.
Oh.
Okay, one trend you secretly hope never comes back.
Oh my God. I think the grunge look. Of the 90s.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also, although that layering is coming back, get ready for it.
Well, I won't participate.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah.
Okay, a celebrity breakup that you're still not over.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm still not over. I mean, I just saw some clips of Will Arnett and Amy Poehler when they were filming stuff together. And, I think they had but something went down. Nobody knows what went down.
Yeah.
Like something went down. But as far as like comedic actors and stuff, they were just so funny together. So
who's your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian would be Joan Rivers, because she was very generous to younger comedians and helping them and, and never being threatened or anything. Currently, I mean, I just know so many, it's like hard to say. I recognize like, people doing well, and I recognize when they're being lazy, because I sometimes do both.
Okay, juicy gossip you can't believe turned out to be true.
Caitlyn Jenner being a woman.
Yeah.
I remember my mom before she died, she was like, Heather, could this be true? And I said, no, Mom, don't believe those magazines. Like that's what I didn't say at the time. I said, he just has, some body dysmorphia and some plastic surgery, whatever. And then after she died, I was like, do I go to the grave and take that, cover that magazine?
Uh-huh. The Vogue.
Here she is.
Vanity Fair.
Oh, Vanity Fair. I used to shop at Dash, and Chloe was the cutest.
Yeah.
She was always up front. And I didn't know who was their stepdad. And I was in the dressing room, and then I come out and I see what in my mind looks like Bruce, but like a female version of Bruce changing the light bulbs. And I didn't know that they were related. And I was going to say to her, holy shit, is that Bruce Jenner? What did he do to himself? And then I just kept my mouth shut. And then later I found out that was her stepfather. And I'm so grateful that I didn't say anything, because the transition happened, like it did happen. It took years.
Yeah. And then when people would say, oh, the secret's out about Bruce, I thought it was because when I sold Courtney her condo years ago, and I dropped off papers or whatever, and Bruce was painting the dash, and I saw him leaving there before I dropped off the papers and lighting up a cigarette. So I thought the secret was that
He was smoking.
smoking, because he was this athlete.
Wow, did you get
And
fooled?
I was like, oh God, they're gonna find out. Like Mr. Wheaties
Yeah.
likes to smoke cigarettes.
May that be the worst thing that ever happens.
Oh, my
Okay,
God.
and then the last question is podcast guests that you'd have back in a heartbeat.
Well, I have several regulars that come on all the time. Brandy and Julie, who are comedians. Chris Frangiola. Who do I want that I've interviewed? I mean, I have people back. So like, if I didn't have you back, either you were kind of a one-off. You know, like, I don't think I have to have Corey Feldman back. But he's interesting cat.
Okay, who's someone who you would have that you haven't had on that you're like, oh my God, I'm dying to get them on?
Madonna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying it. I manifest it. If anybody knows her, as like a little girl, when I'd watch her on Oprah, I'd say one day that I'm going to be able to talk to her.
You were a material girl.
Yeah. Just the
I
life
love
that she's
that.
led is just so she
Fascinating.
has a Netflix 7-part series coming out soon.
Oh, I can't wait to watch
So
that.
that'll be
She's
good.
iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
she's
so
amazing.
interesting. Yeah.
And so many evolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, she changed all of us, right? I mean,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Holiday, all of that.
Well, thank you. What an honor. I mean,
Thank
really,
you.
what
This
an
was so
honor.
fun.
What a pleasure.
Love your
Yeah,
setup.
We
thank
all
you.
need this like comedic laughter to
Yeah.
enhance our lives. So
Mhm.
we'll laugh. We'll have whatever you're laughing at.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll hang out, get some drinks and food soon.
Will you give where everyone can find you?
Yes,
Juicy
the
Scoop,
show is
Juicy-
Juicy Scoop. It's free anywhere. You can subscribe, and same with Juicy Crimes. And then go to heathermcdonald.net and you click on Patreon. I have like over 1,100, 1,200 episodes. That is where the really juicier stuff is. And it's all commercial free, and it's $5 a month. And I've had it for years. So that's it. And yeah. And then if I have dates coming up, which I will in a couple months, you'll see them there.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Thank you so much.
If this episode resonated with you, send it to a friend. And while you're here, take a second to rate, review, and drop a comment. It helps us more than you know. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe for behind-the-scenes footage and exclusive short clips you won't see anywhere else.